Coming up on this special Christmas edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Steve Kiltonick here in the town of Stockbridge, which each December kicks off the holiday season by bringing to life a classic Norman Rockwell painting, Home for Christmas.
Imagine having one baby and then two more. What a nice surprise. We'll introduce you to some triplets coming up.
And Peggy Weber tells us about a Hadley man's creche creations. These stories and more are just ahead on this special Christmas edition of Reel to Reel. Hello and welcome to Reel for this special Christmas edition as we come to you from the Catholic Newman Center at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. Father Gary Daly, the director here at the Newman Center, and his staff have decorated so beautifully for Christmas. And in this holiday spirit, we are pleased to bring you some wonderful stories and Christmas musical selections. And who better to begin a Christmas program than Norman Rockwell, one of America's best-known illustrators who once called the town of Stockbridge, where he lived, the best of America, the best of New England. Maybe that's why he created some of his most endearing works in his studio downtown overlooking Main Street, including one of his most famous and beloved paintings, Home for Christmas. Steve Kiltonick visited the Berkshire town recently and discovered what keeps bringing people back to this small town every year to celebrate the Christmas season, and why Home for Christmas has become one of Rockwell's iconic holiday images.
One can't speak of Norman Rockwell without mentioning in the same breath the town of Stockbridge. The quaint New England village, nestled at the foothills of the Berkshires, is where the acclaimed artist spent the last 25 years of his life before his death in 1978 at the age of 84. Over the years, Rockwell's name has been especially synonymous with the holidays. Rockwell's images on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post, on holiday cards, and for major corporations like Pepsi and Parker Pen have come to define for generations of Americans what the holiday spirit represents. At the Norman Rockwell Museum, a current exhibit, Home for the Holidays, featured some of the most endearing holiday images.
Rockwell, I think, was really the prime purveyor of Christmas. He helped us to get a sense of how our holidays should feel.
As a child, Rockwell admired the work of Charles Dickens. His favorite story was A Christmas Carol and characters like Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim.
The Saturday Evening Post regularly published his Christmas images. In fact, the Post knew that many thousands more copies of the magazine would be purchased if there was a Rockwell holiday image on the cover.
In 1956, when Rockwell was asked by Hallmark to create a holiday painting, he was inspired by his own hometown.
He did feel that Stockbridge captured that quintessential New England feeling. And I think in thinking about what people would like to have the holidays feel like, a little bit of snow, beautiful light emanating from a charming village scene. In a way, it's everyone's Main Street.
Rockwell worked from a series of more than 100 photographs.
Each of the buildings has its own character because his studio assistant, Louis Lamone, actually went down the street and photographed each building individually from the front. He used a bit of artist license in tilting the Berkshire Hills in the background, though he did have reference from Switzerland as well. In referring to the light in the windows, he was actually looking at home magazines of the era to see how holiday images were photographed.
Besieged by deadlines for other illustrations, Rockwell put the painting aside for 10 years. Asked by McCall's in 1967 to paint a holiday image, Rockwell put the final touches on his masterpiece. It appeared in the December issue as a pull-out section simply called Home for Christmas. The oil painting was meant to convey the warmth of Christmas Eve during a typical New England winter and holiday season. Today, Home for Christmas is part of the museum's permanent collection. Since 1967, the buildings on Main Street physically have changed very little, only the businesses. However, on the first Sunday in December, the town takes a step back in time to recreate Home for Christmas. For 2 hours, Main Street shuts down and Rockwell's painting springs to life once more. Vintage cars, similar to those that appear in the painting, park in a row alongside Main Street. And the Christmas tree once again glows in the window above the formal Najami's Market, which was Rockwell's studio.
I think that the Chamber was really looking to bring brisk business to town, people to town during a slow period of time, as well as to kick off the holiday season. So they started off with just Sunday's recreation. They also wanted to keep it along the same lines of what Stockbridge evokes. So why not incorporate Norman Rockwell's painting of Stockbridge Main Street at Christmas and do the reenactment?
The three-day event includes many family-oriented activities.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose.
A horse-drawn carriage makes its way down Main Street. For the children, there's Roger the Jester performing his tricks, a visit from Santa, and Santa's workshops. A key component in the recreation is the appearance of the classic cars. Rockwell placed 16 in the original painting, mainly from the 1940 and 1950s era. This year, over 50 cars made the event, traveling from all over New England and New York. Barb and Doug Galanick brought their 1955 Oldsmobile Rocket 88. This is their 5th year at the reenactment.
There's just so much that's nostalgic about being up here in this area. So it's beautiful. And the Norman Rockwell picture, that's just, it's the epitome of what Christmas felt like for anyone from our era. So I think it brings back such fond memories for both of us.
This is a 1950 Pontiac Silver Streak. It's all original. It drives as it did in 1950, 6 volts. Well, we're big fans of Norman Rockwell. We like old cars, and the two together in a beautiful town like Stockbridge, how can you beat it?
Alan Bernstein has made the trip with Once Upon for the past 10 years.
People seem to get very sentimental when they see this car. It's a 56 Jaguar Mark I, very unusual car.
For Alan, Stockbridge evokes a simpler time.
It reminds me when my mom used to hang up the stockings on the wrought iron banister in our home in Yonkers, New York. And we'd have all kinds of little toys in there, So, yeah, it reminds me of Christmas morning.
As Tony Carlotto takes down the tree from the top of his 1955 Mercury Montclair and begins the journey home, visitors are already planning their trip to Stockbridge next year for another Home for Christmas reenactment. Here, you're never too old or young to experience that timeless Christmas magic in small-town USA. For Reel to Reel, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
Silent Night, A favorite during this Christmas season was written by Joseph Moore, composed by Franz X. Gruber, and first performed 196 years ago in Oberndorf, Austria. Since then, the Christmas song has achieved worldwide appeal, and it's said that there are more than 300 translations of the song throughout the world. And still to come on Reel to Reel, Mark Giza takes a look at what's hitting the big screen during this Christmas season. And The Gift of Life ×3. These stories and more are still to come on this special Christmas edition of Reel to Reel.
The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection. I'm Brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host, inviting you to join me twice this coming week for 2 special liturgies. First, on Christmas morning at the special later hour of 11 for the broadcast of Bishop Mitchell Rosansky's Christmas Eve liturgy at St. Michael's Cathedral. Followed next Sunday at our regular time of 10 for the Feast of the Holy Family as we welcome Father John Hurley and the Jericho community. Mark your Christmas holiday with us, Christmas morning at 11, and again next Sunday morning at 10 for the Chalice of Salvation.
"'Tis the season to be jolly, and it's also that special time when I get to pick my favorite holiday films. I hope you enjoy my special list. And since we're closing in on Christmas, here are a few of my favorite movies to sit back and enjoy with family and friends. First, for romance, let's go with my wife's favorite movie for Christmas, The Holiday, starring Cameron Diaz, Jack Black, Kate Winslet, and Jude Law, as they find romance in the strangest places. But this film ends up being a light, fun, and true film for people in love.
Seems I had it all wrong. It turns out you'll go somewhere new and meet people who make you feel worthwhile again.
It's Christmas Eve, and we are going to celebrate being young and being alive.
Now, to tickle our funny bones, why not watch Will Ferrell in Elf? A real hit in my house. As Buddy the Elf, who travels to New York City to find his real dad, Buddy meets a lot of different people on the way, which makes us laugh even more. I never get tired of this film.
Santa. Ha ha! Ho ho ho! Yeah! It's me, buddy! It's me! Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Now for a true classic film, how about Holiday Inn? With Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire and lots of pretty girls singing and dancing and having a ball. This film may be old, but the music along with the fun characters make it a joy to behold. And really, is there anything better than Fred and Bing in a movie? Not in my book.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
The 1946 classic Frank Capra film, It's a Wonderful Life, still is the perfect Christmas movie, with a message of faith, hope, love, and friends, and most of all, family. And how we need our families when our life gets a little crazy. Sappy, sure, but who doesn't love Jimmy Stewart as George Bailey? One of my favorite all-time Christmas films.
Good idea, Ernie, a toast. To my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Okay, and now my top film, a film I can watch every December over and over again, Miracle on 34th Street. The classic film about a little girl with a strong mind and a mom trying to do her best. And of course, Santa. Young Natalie Wood is a joy to watch. Maureen O'Hara is great as the mom, and most of all, Edmund Gwen's role as Santa, which won him an Oscar, is perfect. This is a great family film, one we cherish forever. And you can see my reviews, as well as read other movie reviews provided by the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops online at iobserve.org. That's iobserve.org. And the next time we meet, we'll be talking about the top films playing at the movies right now. Films starring Jennifer Aniston, Marion Cotillard, and Meryl Streep. So many films, so little time. I'm Mark Isa, wishing you a happy and healthy Christmas.
Getting ready for Christmas means different things for different people, but many love setting up their creche set as a beautiful religious symbol of the holiday. Peggy Weber recently visited a Hadley man who creates handmade creches, and as she discovered, this is much more than a project of wood and straw.
Stephen Barrett spent part of his youth in Germany as his military family moved around. He said he remembers the open stalls that sold wooden creche sets and figurines, and says that memory has stayed with him.
It was just something, the way they celebrated Christmas there, and it's just the alpine ambiance. I loved it.
However, Stephen did not become a woodcrafter upon his return to the United States. He came back to Western Mass after graduating from college. He met and married his wife Ruth, and together they have raised 4 adult children from their Hadley home. He said he thought about applying his skills to make creches and other items, but admitted his first attempt was a failure. Then, something wonderful happened.
My daughter Megan got a nice little porcelain one-piece Holy Family set. And I said, yeah, they need a home. So I decided to make a small one out of just thin plywood and some sticks.
Stephen says he figured out that the post and beam method of wood carving and joining was the best way to go. And suddenly, he was in business.
And then I decided to make another one, and then another one, and friends liked them. And then just after Christmas, I made my first real big one.
Stephen has gone on to make some beautiful creations. He has made many creches, several that are custom orders, and many that are of big proportions. He made one for a woman in Kentucky that was 3 feet high, 4 feet wide, and 1 foot deep. He also has made American replications of such places as the John Adams House, the Abyssinian Meeting House, and Conkey's Tavern.
I try to set everything up to be like a stage. That's why I concentrate more on building the buildings and setting the stage and letting the people decide what figurines they want to add to it.
However, Stephen says that his woodworking is much more than a career change. It was a lifesaver for him after he was diagnosed with bipolar depression. And his woodworking was a gift.
It brought me back to the Catholic Church. I had drifted from the church for a while. I realized this is who I am. This is part of my culture, part of everything that, is about me.
Stephen said he also reflects on the significance of making a home for the Holy Family.
I'm not the greatest Catholic on earth. I'm not the lapse or anything, but you just have your moments. But when I work on the creches, I realize there's something bigger here. There's something that you can bring your troubles to. And you realize that, okay, I don't have a dime, I'm broke, or I'm right on the edge of it. And remember that there was a couple that traveled hundreds of miles on what they were told by an angel, on sheer faith, to go to Bethlehem. And they had nothing between them, not even directions.
The creche sets mean so much to Stephen, and he hopes that others will see these humble places made of wood and bring them to a deeper understanding of Christmas and the beauty of Christ's birth. For Real to Real, I'm Peggy Weber.
And we have more information on these beautiful creches on our website at iobserve.org and also in this month's edition of the Catholic Mirror. As Christmas approaches, life gets hectic for many parents with young children. But for one family, they are busy ×3, juggling the joys of raising triplets. Yes, triplets, along with 3 older children. With the help of Bethlehem House, a pro-life agency funded by the annual Catholic Appeal, this family welcomed 3 beautiful baby boys who have taught everyone, doctors, nurses, and all who meet them, what a true gift life really is. Carolee McGrath reports.
Jose Lopez can't get the bottle made fast enough for his hungry baby boy, Angelo. But Angelo will have to wait because his brothers, Abel and Angel, want a bottle too.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Era tu hermano?
Jose and his wife Elizabeth never imagined that they would have 6 children to care for. But with the unexpected joy of triplets, they're rising to the occasion and multiplying everything ×3. Diapers, wipes, bottles, and binkies. So, you have triplets.
Yes,
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Were you surprised?
We're still surprised. We're still in shock.
In shock, but head over heels in love with their baby boys who beat the odds. When Jose rushed Elizabeth to the emergency room last winter, he thought she was miscarrying.
When they start doing the ultrasound, the doctor say, "Oh, there's one problem here." So we're scared. When she does the ultrasound, something moved. And then the doctor, she started calling the other doctor to make sure. And then that's when they found out there was triplets.
Because it was a high-risk pregnancy and 2 of the babies shared a placenta, doctors suggested abortion as an option.
They told them to get rid of the 2 babies, the one that was together, and just leave one. And me and my wife, we told them no. We don't believe it. Because if God put that on us, He's the only one who decides yes or not a human being. And they here.
The babies, due in August, arrived in June, tiny but healthy. Angelo, the biggest, was 3.5 pounds. Abel weighed 3 pounds. Angel was 2.5. They had to stay in the neonatal intensive care unit for a month. Elizabeth says that was the hardest part.
Claro que sí.
Yes.
Aquí están y están bien.
She said yes, they here and they find they healthy.
Jose and Elizabeth get up at 4 in the morning and live on 4 hours of sleep. He works full-time for PVTA. She works full-time as a mom, taking care of the babies and their busy 2-year-old Amori. Elizabeth's older daughter, Ashley, is in 2nd grade. Elizabeth also goes to night school to learn English. Jose's older daughter, Jasmine, lives with her mom, but loves to come and help. What do you think of these boys?
They're beautiful, and they're not that much of a handful, but it's just crazy. Like, they're just.
Do you like taking care of them?
Yeah.
Do you think they're a blessing?
Yes.
Looking right here, smiles, Dad, Mom.
Life is busy in the Lopez house, as we witnessed. Getting a good Christmas picture was nothing short of a miracle. They even put Catholic Communications to work, and we were happy to help. But their real support has come from Bethlehem House in Easthampton, a Catholic nonprofit helping women faced with a crisis pregnancy. Bethlehem House is supported by the annual Catholic Appeal. Since they don't have family close by, Bethlehem House has been a godsend.
They have the triplets and other children, so they have such a need because of that. And he works. It's, they're dancing as fast as they can. That's what I usually kind of say that.
A social worker at Bay State Medical Center in Springfield referred the couple to Bethlehem House.
That's a lot all at once, definitely. And they're very trusting in the Lord and very open to life. And they're just so loving people.
Pam says Jose and Elizabeth, who attend St. Michael's Cathedral Parish in Springfield, are a witness. She says her ministry is to help moms and dads see that life is a gift.
A lot of people have actually gotten their children baptized. This is recently, too. And a lot of people are trying to find a parish because they see that we love our Lord and they want that, and we answer their questions and they know it's through Jesus totally, because no one person could ever do this. It's his ministry.
Having triplets, as you can imagine, is an absolute fortune. So Jose and Elizabeth come up to Bethlehem House twice a month to load up on diapers and wipes for Abel and his two brothers.
A lot of people told them to get some help or something, and that's when we find out the Bethlehem House, and they've been so helpful for us.
Jose and Elizabeth would never sugarcoat how long and exhausting their days are. Even getting all of the kids strapped in the car is a project, and when one starts crying, well, you know the drill. And yet this Catholic couple is full of faith and joy this Christmas season, following the example of the Holy Family who trusted in God's perfect plan.
If God put 3 babies on us, we don't want just one. We want the 3 of them. And we took our chance, and here they are.
Here they are, 3 handsome little guys who unwittingly are showing all those who meet them that life is pretty special. Reporting for Reel to Reel, I'm Carolee McGrath.
And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. We hope you enjoyed these special Christmas stories and musical performances. Remember, for all of the latest news on the church in Western Massachusetts and around the globe, we have continuous updates on our website at iobserve.org. There you can view stories seen right here on Reel to Reel, as well as read news reports from the acclaimed Catholic News Service. That's iobserve.org. And before we close, my thanks again to all who so generously responded to the Catholic Communications Christmas Appeal. This coming Christmas morning at 11, we invite you all to join us for a very special Chalice of Salvation broadcast, sharing Bishop Mitchell Rosansky's Christmas Eve liturgy from St. Michael's Cathedral. That's Christmas morning at the special time of 11 on WWLP 22 News. And please join me at this same time next week for our year-end edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Merry Christmas.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.